Hey everybody, this is Jesse B. Gilmore, agency transformation coach and founder of Niche in Control, creator of Leverage for Growth.
And I'm Lucas James, founder of Twiz.io, which scaled from $0 to $200,000 a month with my own agency.
We are the hosts of Leverage for Growth podcast agency leverage episodes. We know that in order to scale your agency successfully, there are multiple shifts that need to happen within the founder's mindsets, skill sets, and leadership styles. We are on a mission to interview marketing and PR agency owners on their journey to 6, 7, and 8 figures and leverage the lessons from their journey to save you time, energy, and money in order for you to get your agency to the next level. If you find value in these episodes, watch the case study video to learn more about Leverage for Growth and how we successfully scale agencies quickly at nicheincontrol.com/case study. That's nicheincontrol.com/case study. You are now listening to Leverage for Growth. Hey everybody, this is Jesse P. Gilmore, founder of Niche in Control and creator of Leverage for Growth. Welcome to the Agency Leverage Edition. Today, I am here with Alex Kafure, the founder of Kafure Consulting, a full-stack digital marketing studio on a mission to help take your brand to the next level from strategy to implementation. Thanks for coming to our show today.
Thank you so much, Jesse, for having me.
Absolutely. Can you tell us a little bit about the history and background of your agency?
Yeah, definitely. I guess to say it in the quickest way, my parents were both agency owners. They ran a digital marketing agency back in the 80s, believe it or not. So not to date them too much, but they were using CorelDRAW and some of the earliest programs. And I sat on my dad's lap and always really appreciated computers and engineering, and grew into designing websites when I was younger, and ultimately went to school for marketing, and worked for a lot of agencies and a lot of in-house marketing teams, just grinding. Always realizing that the companies were paying other agencies a lot of money to do the services that I was doing for one of their departments, and felt like, hey, it seems a little bit much, but maybe I should go on the other side and see what it looks like. In 2017, started Kafure Consulting and offered paid media advertising management for some of my former agencies that I worked with. And here I am. Long story short, it worked out in my benefit. A lot of long nights and a lot of grinding, but ultimately I learned that offering the services and doing it the way that I think is best is ultimately the way to go.
That's cool. Hearing about learning from your father from the 1980s and sitting on the lab. I'm sure that had a big impact on the way that you view business and entrepreneurship.
Oh yeah, for sure. I would say that my mom's got a real keen eye for design, and I always just appreciated her ability to produce like logos and things like that out of nothing. And my dad engineered a lot of the framework of the systems that they used. So it was really cool to see the collaboration. And ultimately, I wanted to kind of foster that same business mindset within my own agency. So I have a lot of technical background that I bring to the table, a little bit of a design eye as well. And that helps me kind of be a part of all the different facets of business growth, and throw in some finance experience now. And it's been a long journey.
And you had talked a little bit about working for other agencies before, starting your own. Even during the time that you were working for the other agencies, did you always know that you were going to be an entrepreneur? It was part of kind of like the earning your stripes, or talk a little bit about what it was like inside of the other agencies.
For sure. I felt like I never knew really what the word entrepreneur meant when I was younger. I just thought it was something that, is kind of fancy sounding. But I was always trying to start some little business on the side. And I didn't realize that that's actually what an entrepreneur ultimately is. As this website might work. Let me build a WordPress site, this weekend and try something. And I would do that regularly and never really tell anybody about it. And ultimately I realized, like, okay, that's entrepreneurship at its core. And so, working with these agencies helped me identify some of the business models that I was really interested in, that I wanted to find a way to influence or find niche products that would grow within certain categories. So it was hard for me to do it for my clients. You're not going to be able to say, hey, try this product, and they're going to be like, oh, wow, we love what the agency came up with. Let's change our whole business model. So instead, I would work it on the side, and I ultimately grew traffic both organically and through a little bit of paid. And I saw like, this is a lot easier than I thought it was to kind of start from scratch. And, luckily for me, I also like the way a couch feels to sleep on. So I didn't mind getting all the way down to sleeping on a couch if I needed to, if things didn't work out. So I was like, worst case scenario, there's my mom's couch. But luckily it never ended up there. But, you get close sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the commitment of an entrepreneur is a lot deeper than what people normally think. And I'm sure that on your journey since 2017, you've kind of gone through some like ups and downs, and the journey of being an agency owner. What are some of those things that you've kind of learned along the way that maybe if you were to if someone listening, or even if you were to talk to yourself, a couple steps back, what would be some of the things that you wish you would have known that would save you time, energy, or money?
Oh, that's a good question. I'd say probably just sticking to organization, having a task management tool of some sorts. A lot of times it was just whatever was in my head, whatever was top of mind. I put energy and focus towards that. And sure, that would give me my undivided attention at that moment, but it would often leave things on the back burner that maybe shouldn't have been, and should have been just chiseled at on a daily basis. So when I incorporated task management into my ultimate business model, it really helped me stay focused, and also helped me kind of keep a record of ideas. I'm one of those people that kind of does my best thinking when I'm in the shower, so I had to come up with a way to get out and really just write something down and then incorporate that into a task management tool. So I'd say to my younger self, figure something else besides, just keep it in your head, and always write everything down, and keep a nice record log, and check a box off the list every day.
Mm-hmm. And I know one of the biggest kind of mindset shifts that happen within creative agencies is there's kind of like this mental battle between standardization and process, and then creativity and innovation. This is totally a different topic than what we normally would talk about, but for anybody that's maybe listening that maybe is on the creative side, that's avoiding the kind of task management system, which is what you're talking about, what advice would you give somebody to kind of embrace those processes or standards?
Yeah, that's a tough one as well, because I struggle with that still. Sometimes you're just like, you're feeling motivated, you're feeling creative, and you really want to dive headfirst into something. And oftentimes, to reference a writer or designer, you have writer's block or designer's block, where you didn't feel it at the time you were supposed to do it earlier, but now you're feeling it. How do I not jump into it and stick to the task I had scheduled? And I think it's ultimately about just being really good at your note taking. If you're not going to jump headfirst into something right now, at least write down the thought process of, if you would, what would you do? And really just make sure to spell things out. I think with computers and keyboards, you can do a lot faster typing than you can do writing on a piece of paper. So the notepad concept, maybe just upgrade it to something a little bit quicker, so you don't lose time and lose the thought. Or the recording devices, any type of recorder. But that for me is really important, because I often find myself just coming up with the best ideas right after a meeting where I'm about to go into another one. So it's like, I just got to write it down, and I got to make sure to get back to it.
I love it. So what is kind of like success for you and your agency over the next like 1 to 3 years? What are you working on? What are you excited about?
I know a lot of people are kind of fearful of AI. I'm quite the opposite. I've incorporated it into the business into as much as I can. When you come back to note taking and task management, and making use of Notion and their AI tools, building out some really creative things within the platform, just layering in as much technology as I can in order to make things more efficient for the agency. It's not about cutting staff or reducing the amount of people that you have that are capable of doing things, but rather empowering them to be able to do more. I think that's ultimately what's going to divide us from the other agencies. We're not going to be lean and mean. We're going to have a really strong team that has all the power and capabilities of any other agency out there. And I think that's what we're focused on now more than anything, is just making sure we don't go stale with all these tools that are coming out. And oftentimes there's, especially within paid ad management, what we specialize in, there's tools that automate everything and people are afraid, like, oh my God, my job's going to go away. And I think ultimately the human element is so important in making game time decisions, understanding, is this creative doing better than another creative just because the algorithm says it is? Let's dive deeper into the psychology behind why something might be working. And so I think it's ultimately for us, it's embracing what's coming and really making use of it and applying it to the fullest, and instead of ignoring opportunity, we embrace it.
Awesome. That's that entrepreneurial spirit.
Yeah.
Cool. So what is the best way for people to get in touch with you, or do you have any offers for them that they could take advantage of?
Yeah. I mean, I would say the easiest way is just to visit our website, kafure.com, KAFrank.URE.com. And or just write to me, Alex at Kafure.com. I'm always here, always available, ready to listen, ready to work with anybody who has some ideas. No cost to get on the phone with us. We love doing consultations and audits to help people understand what's going on with their business. And I'd say, Jesse, anybody that comes from your podcast, will offer them 20% off any business that they do. Always just appreciate working with fellow players in the space who have a great audience, and we're always looking to help anybody lift their business. So please just feel free to reach out to us. We're always here.
Cool. And for anybody that's listening, in the show notes, I'll have all the contact details for Alex. And thank you so much for being on the show. I really appreciate it.
I really appreciate the time, Jesse. I'm really excited to see where things go for you.
Agency owners, if you want to transform your agency to sustain and grow without your direct involvement, where you can stop working in the business and switch to working on the business, where you can regain control of your time, delegate effectively, get paid what you're worth, and have your team run the day-to-day, go to nicheincontrol.com/case study right now to learn more about Leverage for Growth. You can book a free strategy session with us to look at your systems, understand what needs to be done in order for you to scale, and get a free strategic plan for the next year to live the life of entrepreneurship that you've always dreamed about. Go to nicheincontrol.com/case study. That is nicheincontrol.com/case study now.